CNN anchor Allison Camerata today using an exchange with American Conservative Union Chair Matt Schlapp to suggest that the Constitution has it wrong on impeachment. Camerata saying high crime or otherwise, isn't the standard necessarily for impeachment. Listen to this.
If there are no crimes and if they don't come forward with articles that show any criminality, but just like your polling,
Matt,
which
it
you guys
doesn't have
have
to be
done,
a crime. That's just misleading. You know that a crime is not the standard, Matt. It doesn't have to be a crime, Matt. You know that.
It has to be a crime or a misdemeanor. It's in the Constitution.
In fact, as Matt was saying, Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution states the president, vice president, and all civil officers of the U.S. shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Joining us now is presidential historian Doug Wead, who's probably shaking his head. Yes, he is. Author of the new book, Inside Trump's White House, now available for pre-order. So Doug, now the Constitution is wrong, okay? Apparently, Trump haters want the phrase high crimes and misdemeanors excerpted, taken out, banished from the Constitution. What do you think?
Yeah, well, they've got to do something. This impeachment is unlike any other impeachment that we've seen. In 1868, the impeachment of Andrew Johnson, there was a crime. There was even some deep state activity. Edwin Stanton was Secretary of War. The Senate didn't want him fired. They didn't want Johnson to do that. And it was bipartisan. And the impeachment hearings of Richard Nixon, 1972, they were bipartisan. There was crimes. 1998, Bill Clinton, there was a crime, and it was bipartisan. 5 Democrats joined with Republicans in the impeachment of Bill Clinton. So what makes this impeachment so unusual?
Well, what's extraordinary, what makes it different is that right from the get-go, they wanted to get rid of Donald Trump. Even before he was president, they wanted to get rid of him. They hatched this huge plan within the deep state in order to do so. Once he was elected, they tried to get rid of him, and they've been trying to impeach him from the very beginning. And now even to the point of trying to change the Constitution. Because, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Constitution states you have to be convicted of a crime to be thrown out of office.
Yeah, well, that's part of the problem. This history is part of the problem the Democrats have, including the Russian collusion. I mean, stop and think of this. If the Russians elected a president of the United States who was one of their spies, that would be like Christopher Columbus crossing the ocean. It would be like landing a man on the moon. It would be like the assassination of Julius Caesar. It would be one of the greatest events in all of world history. The problem is it didn't happen. We all know it's idiotic. It didn't happen. Yeah. So because they tried to impeach him even before he became president, and because they tried this Russian collusion thing, they're in trouble now with their impeachment idea.
Well, they're also having some very anti-democratic suggestions concerning the election and the responsibility of people in the deep state, which some of those in the deep state admit now actually exists, for getting people who've actually been voted into office out. Let me just play for you a soundbite from a former CIA acting director and get your impression.
Thank God for the deep state. I mean, I think, everyone here has seen this progression of diplomats and intelligence officers and White House people trooping up to Capitol Hill right now and saying, these are people who are doing their duty, who are responding to a higher call.
So, Doug, a higher call, whatever that means, is more important than the voters' will.
Yeah, this is tragic. This is tragic, and it's scary. In InsideTrumpsWhiteHouse.com, I interviewed Ivanka and Jared and all the kids and the president over and over. They feel very deeply what's going on, and it's frightening. I mean, do we really want the CIA has some tremendous people in the FBI, but do we really want these agencies? Do we want the Pentagon to go to be independent? We don't want civilian authority. We want to abandon the U.S. Constitution. It's one thing for the CIA to topple a government in Iraq, in the Philippines, in Chile, in South Korea. It's another thing to topple our own government. hey, the American people elect the president, he's accountable to them, and we have civilian authority. What would happen if the Pentagon decided suddenly, like this former CIA agent, we answer to a higher power? That's what happens in other countries, and we hope that won't happen here.
We certainly do. Doug, great to see you. Doug Wead, author of the book Inside Trump's White House, and again, it is available for pre-order. Good luck with the book, Doug. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, David.
Well, as the radical left focuses on removing President Trump